Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is Mark Goldbridge on a nighttime ramble, I suppose, but there will always be content on the United Stand. 100%, there'll always be content on the United Stand. I'm a little bit later. It should have been 8:30, but I did warn you it would be a little bit late. But let's fly straight into this. My point tonight, I don't need to talk about transfers. We do that at 7 AM. I don't need to talk about the preview for tomorrow. It's a massive game. Can't wait for it. People are saying it's going to be tension. I'm confident. But what I want to really want to talk about is all this hate about Manchester United that I keep seeing day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, after all our rivals going on about Manchester United are just buying success. And you know what? I don't think they get it. I think they need to be educated in the fact that we are not buying success. We have a manager, after 3 years of abject failure, with Moyes the clown and LVG his sidekick, who've bought badly and allowed a squad to decay, fester, become lazy and inefficient. Jose Mourinho's come into that club, bought 4 players. Mkhitaryan, questionable first season. Zlatan, exceptional season. Bay, exceptional season. And Pogba, I would say exceptional as well. He will be one of the best midfielders in world football. So he's bought 4 players, all of which have performed. If you look at the players, I put it out on Twitter today, the players that have let Manchester United down this year, none of which are anything to do with Jose Mourinho. They are Fellaini. His obsession is a bit... He's not totally free because his obsession with Fellaini is down to Mourinho. But Rooney, Phil Jones, Chris Smalling, they're nothing to do with him. But bringing it back to point, let's get back on the point. Manchester United do not buy success in the way that our rivals want us to buy success, in the way that they want us to be Manchester City or Chelsea or any other club that is fed money by, I would say, inappropriate means, where they've not earned that money, where it's oil money or oligarch money, whatever you want to call it. It's not earned from the fans of Manchester City or Chelsea. It's not winning the lottery. Effectively, they win the lottery, somebody takes over them and they get a whole load of money. That is not what Manchester United are all about. That, if you want to call it buying success, whatever, I wouldn't disagree. Manchester United can spend what the hell we want to spend every single day, every single summer, every single transfer window, and it will never ever be buying success. And never let, as a Manchester United fan, never let yourself fall into that trap of thinking it's buying success. Do you want to know why it's not buying success? Because it's our bloody money. It's you, it's me, it's everybody else who supports Manchester United. It's our money. We're not buying success. We are spending the money that we as fans have put into the club. Manchester United is in the top echelon of clubs in the world football, maybe the best. But when it comes to being a business and generating its own income, we are second to none, especially in England. The rivals that troll us, that spend all their lives bitter about us, you know what I'm on about, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Sit down and take the L, because we do not buy success. Reality is we can go out and buy whatever we want to. We could go and spend £400 million this year and everyone would get off their box and they'd start moaning about it, saying, oh, they're just buying success, they're buying success. How is it buying success when you're spending the money that your club actually generates? And while I'm on that subject, if we're buying success, why? What's the opposite of not buying success? So the opposite of buying success for these morons is generating your own players. Well, I tell you what, you go and tell me any club, Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, I don't really include Spurs because they're not going to be around for long. How many youth players have you brought through that are first team players for you in the last few years? None. Hardly any. Hardly any. How many Manchester United brought through? Currently, Marcus Rashford, who will be a first team player for Manchester United for years to come and one of our best players. Jesse Lingard, who is a squad player who I don't like, but he's come through the youth setup. Timothy Fosu-Mensah will be one. Axel Tuanzebe will be one. These are top players that will become great players for Manchester United that have come through our youth system. I'll tell you what, I'll lay it down on the line now. I'll guarantee you Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool won't even produce half of that 4 players for their club. And that's the laughable thing. They call us a buying club, and they just drown in their own ineptitude. We produce youth talent, but our manager, as well as doing that, is also rebuilding a squad that actually was wasted by two managers who spent awfully, really badly. So of course we're going to spend money to rectify that. What should we do? Sit down and go, well, we're not going to spend all this money we've got, we're going to put up with what we've got, and we're all happy to finish 5th, 6th, 7th for the next few years. Of course we're going to spend money, but the reality is Manchester United spend money that they have acquired. Every pound, and not, you know, the reality is a lot of what Manchester United earn goes to the Glaziers, goes to Woodward, goes to agents, goes to players, but we spend a lot as well, and we spend a lot of the money that we have earned. That's what it's all about, and it doesn't frustrate me, it just makes me laugh that these rival fans actually fall into the trap of the trap that I've actually put them in for most of my life, the idiot trap. You know, where you actually have no argument to come back with. You know, there has been times in my life where, like the Aguero goal, they stole a title off us, and Arsenal in my younger days when they used to win the title with the Invincibles and that, and it was hard to swallow because what can't speak can't lie. They won the title that year, I can't argue with it, but it's few and far between, and their fans really are morons with the arguments they come out back with. Oh, you're just buying success with the money that we've made. Bringing it back to reality, there goes gravity. We're back in 6th place. Just when I was out, they pulled me back in. Good line, that. Rubbish. Rubbish interpretation. 4 pints of Amstel. Words are just not missing. Words are not coming to me as quick as they do. But back in 6th place, couldn't give a damn. Really couldn't give a damn. Have no interest in 6th place. Don't care if we're 5th, 6th, whatever. Our focus, as our manager have said, is the Europa League. And you can moan about it, you can be dishappy about it, whatever. We are focusing on the Europa League. It's abundantly clear. It's out there in speak. It's out there in black and white. What can't speak, what can't lie. We are focusing on the Champions League, so, and our best route for that is the Europa League. So well done to Arsenal, you're up to 5th now. It's still 1 place away from your 4th place cup, but you know what, in all honesty, I'd rather Arsenal got 4th place than Liverpool anyway, so I hope they do win all their games, and hope Liverpool mess up against West Ham, because we've certainly made a dog's dinner of taking top 4 off Liverpool. We should have taken top 4 off Liverpool. It's our own fault that we haven't, and as much as I think Arsenal are the biggest bunch of joker fans on Twitter, I would much rather they took top 4 than Liverpool did. So good luck with that battle. You won't get a cup for it. We're actually fighting for a cup that we've never won, and it will get us in the Champions League, and we won't have to play a qualifier. So for all those people who are Man United are back in 6th, there's about 3 weeks left of this season, and at the end of it I'm confident we'll have a trophy we've never won, we'll have Champions League in the group stage, and whoever gets 4th place, good luck. You won't win it next year, you won't win the Premier League next year, and you'll have a qualifier to play as well, and I wouldn't fancy you in that either. So jog on, enjoy it. I'm totally relaxed about Manchester United's situation at the moment, and I find it very funny that our rivals and the press are trying to unsettle that. Of course we should have top 4. I'm not messing around. We should have top 4. We know we should have top 4. But one shot lottery, we're going to go for the Europa League, and I think we can win it. I really do. A very good comment I had on Twitter today was that who's been your worst player of the year season for Manchester United? And it would be, I'm going to read some of your comments in a minute. It's very hard without my glasses and walking, but it wasn't about who your player of the season was, it was who's not been your player of the year, who's been the worst player. A lot of people said Fellaini, but there was a comment that I really liked, and that was this. I would go as far as to say that if Marouane Fellaini had not been part of this Manchester United squad this year, we would comfortably be top 4, and I agree with it. It's the only real depth of criticism I can consistently give to Jose Mourinho this season. His use of Fellaini is ridiculous. I've mentioned it to you before, the Dutch press are all over it. They already are thinking they're going to get to the final of the Europa League, and they are already saying that this is the big area that they can win the cup final. And I don't disagree with it. I mean, I still think we can beat Ajax in the final if we get there, but it's not rocket science. You put Fellaini in your midfield, he's slow, he can't pass the ball, he's a liability. His only real strength is chest control and in the air, and he's nowhere near the opposition's box when he's playing in the midfield. He is the concern, he is the worry. And I do agree with that comment that I think if he wasn't part of our squad, we'd be in the top 4. But I think he'll be here next year. I really do. I've got no prediction or hope. They've done their garden. It wasn't like that before. Well done. Anyway, apart from the garden watch, yeah, I think he will be here next year, and I think I've consistently said this, and it's nothing personal. He is a Jonah on our club, and well, if you don't know what Jonah means, I've said it before. It's like a voodoo doll. It's like a bad luck charm. Ever since he's been at the club, we've been crap in the league, and I don't think it's a coincidence. He plays a good proportion of our games every season. He's not a Manchester United player, and you know what? I know there's a few of you on the bandwagon, and I know you're trying to get United fans on there, and you're praying he'll score tomorrow night so you can all get a few more tickets on your bandwagon bus. But this is what happens. This is, if you look at Fellaini's career at Manchester United for the last few years, it's the same old cycle. It's the same old cycle all the time. Crap. Everyone thinks he's crap. He has a half decent performance, and everyone's like, oh yeah, he's all right. He tries really hard. Has a couple of those try-hard performances, then he's crap again, and we go round the circle and round the circle, apart from, if you're with me, which is, he's crap, he's not good enough for United. My biggest argument has always been with him. He is not a player that anybody in the top 4, and in fact I would stretch it to the top 10, would have anywhere near his first 11, and we're Manchester United. Somebody might say, oh yeah, there's a few clubs that'd like to have him as a plan B. He's playing in our first team in our midfield. We're not talking plan Bs here, and I don't think he's a very good plan B. He is playing consistently in our first team in our midfield. No Premier League club would go anywhere near him in the top 10 positions because he's crap in the midfield. He's not a bad plan B option in the last 10 minutes to chuck him on as a number 10, but for some reason, when you look at Fellaini's appearances for Manchester United, very, very sparse. And very rare that he gets played as a number 10 in the opposition's box, which is his position, which is exactly where he was effective as a player for Everton. But we don't do that. For 3 managers now, Moyes, Van Gaal and Mourinho consistently play him as a midfielder. And if I can see that's wrong, and you can see it's wrong, but you get these people who say, well, you're not on 300 grand a week like Mourinho. You're not the manager of Manchester United. You must know worse. And to be honest, the reality is we don't know worse. We've been here a lot longer than he has, and his knowledge around Manchester United is pretty limited to the last 12 months when it comes to what the assessment of the squad actually is. I don't think it's good enough, and I think you do a hell of a lot better, but I don't see him going in the summer. I think it's a massive problem, and it's a massive problem that will be there next year, but all my major concern at the moment is for the next few weeks of the season. And I'm not crying, that was a little bit of a I'm not crying. That is my concern over the next couple of games in the Europa League, is if he starts him, we could be sat here in the summer going, I mean, the trouble is I really like Jose Mourinho, and if it was Van Gaal, you're right, if it was Van Gaal and we missed out on the Europa League because of his obsession with Fellaini, I'd be shouting from the rooftop, get rid of this idiot, he's an absolute clown. So I have to be not a hypocrite, and I have to balance it out, and I say, if we missed out on the Europa League and Champions League qualifications because Mourinho keeps picking Fellaini, then I don't want Mourinho to be sacked. I don't. He's got to have 2 years. But I would be having stern questions in my mind about what this manager that I've got real big belief in is actually doing. But it also comes down to Romero as well. I know a lot of people, I know a lot of you really like Romero, but Why pick? It really is this simple. It's like when you've got Paul Pogba, why pick Michael Carrick? Actually, that's a really bad example. When you've got Paul Pogba, why pick Fellaini? No, that's not fair on Romero. Romero would be Fellaini. When you've got Paul Pogba, why pick? We don't really have that middle of the road player anymore, do we? Schneidlin, good midfielder. We've sold him anyway, but you know what I mean. Romero is a good goalkeeper. De Gea, as Pogba, is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Pogba, best midfielders in the world. So why take that risk? Why take that risk that world-class shot that De Gea can save that Romero can't? Why do it out of sentimentality? This is Manchester United. And I think this is something that Mourinho has sort of touched on. He sort of played lip service to it. And I loved the fact that he played Twansibi last week. He's played lip service to it, but he's not quite grasped it yet. This sentimentality thing about playing Romero because he's played every round of the Europa League. Sorry, Jose. Sir Alex Ferguson used to do the same thing in the Europa League. But when it got to the business end, he'd pick the best players. And he should pick De Gea in goal. And the Fellaini thing is just unforgivable. I don't get it. There is people, answers on a postcard. People say about Fellaini, he really tries really hard. I'd try really hard. I'd be shit for Manchester United. You don't get picked for trying hard. He must do really well in training. Great. He doesn't do it on the pitch because we watch every minute Jose does. His obsession absolutely baffles me. I've got to be honest. I don't get it. And I think if you think he actually offers something to Manchester United, I think you almost need to go and get yourself on Wikipedia and have a little look at Manchester United's history, and you'll never find try-hard player with no first touch, bad passing, slow, liability, but we won trophies, but we won the league. It doesn't happen. It's a really weird obsession that I just don't get, that he won't move away from. And people say, it's exactly what happened last summer. Oh, he'll be gone in the summer. And people are saying, oh, he'll be gone in the summer, it's just a stopgap. Schneidlin went over Fellaini. I'm not saying Schneidlin was the answer, but he's a better midfielder. He's here for the long run because something with Fellaini and Manchester United is very odd. It's almost like corruption. He's just not good enough. But I pray to God it doesn't cost us it doesn't cost us the Europa League, because it's been my obsession in a way for the whole time of doing the United Stand, that I really do feel that if we get rid of this player from Manchester United, success will follow like a gold rush. We'll be challenging for the title, we'll be doing well in Europe. I really do think he is something that just drags us down. And I hate it when it gets dark. Where do you get dark? I ain't got a hangover, Scott Kent. I haven't got a hangover. I've been out for a curry and a few beers, but I haven't got a hangover. I can handle 4 pints. Here we go. Comment of the year here from 86 Ram C. Fellaini plays better than Pogba, Mark. Leighton and Seeley comes to mind, says Terry 1980. That's very difficult. A very good point from Terry 1980, but it's very difficult. It's very different, because in the 1990 FA Cup final, Jim Leighton was our goalkeeper. He was our number one goalkeeper. He played badly in the final, and in the replay, we played our reserve goalkeeper, Les Seeley. He got dropped. This is not that situation. This is playing your reserve goalkeeper out of sentiment. De Gea's not made a mistake to get dropped. De Gea's not had bad form to get dropped. It's just Mourinho doing it. I'm going to lean up against somebody's car here. Mark, you could never do that in Croydon at such a late time. I think your area is lovely, says Tyrone Williams. You know what, Tyrone? I think sometimes you just have a couple of drinks and you don't care, and you sort of take a mistake. You make a mistake. Low views tonight, but I don't know. People are probably not realising that I'm doing it a bit later. Fellaini will come good. Loads of people are going on about the... I've never realised I can do this before. Okay, I like this. RLJ Gamer says, I get you with Fellaini, I really do, but it's not just him that's failed as this season. I agree with that. Tyrone, I live the other side and it's the same here, says Beck Howell. Your thumbnail suggests you might not be able to handle 4 pints, bro, says VK Dean. I don't know what my thumbnail is. Joey Ozo's guys don't just copy his opinion. The point of this channel is to get everyone's opinion, but saying that he doesn't ever want to hear someone saying good things about Rooney or Fellaini. Did I say that, Joey? I don't know. Great show, love it, says Matt Hugh. Mark, the day Fellaini is sold, leaves United, just do a video where at the start of the video you raise a glass of champagne. It'd get a lot of hate. It would get a lot of hate, but I don't care. Back to 6th, says Philo, couldn't give a damn. If we can't stop Liverpool, I hope Arsenal can. Jose Mourinho is probably trying to get used to playing without De Gea, says Indy. Well, he can buy a good goalkeeper in the summer. He doesn't need to take a risk with Romero. And, you know, there's a lot of people like Arlong Ewan, not with that name, who says Romero deserves the chance. He is a good goalkeeper. I disagree with you, Arlong. It's your opinion, though. That's what the United stand's all about. But why does he deserve a chance? It's like, you know what it's like, Arlong? I'll give you that example again. You know, the Champions League to Manchester United this summer is almost life or death scenario for the club in a footballing sense. If we get it, it's massive. If we don't, we're in shit. I didn't really want to swear tonight, which I knew was a possibility when I'd had a drink. So if you were in a life or death situation, right, and somebody said to you, right, okay, you're going to spend 12 hours in the sea. You can have a really good, it's been tested by everybody, top of the range life jacket, or you can have this one that somebody's used before. I don't think it's got a hole in it, but it's a good one. It's been used before. What are you going to pick? You're going to pick the brand new, tested by everybody, flawless life machine, or you're going to life jacket, or you're going to pick the one that's been used by somebody else before that might be really good but could have a hole in it. You're going to go with the best one, and that's the analogy with De Gea that I would say that everybody's missing here. It's not about Romero being a good goalkeeper or not. It's about having the option, about having a better goalkeeper in De Gea that we seem to be missing. Mad Marcus wants me to go to bed because he's tired, as is everybody else. Okay, I can take a hint. I can take a hint. I really can. And you're losing me anyway. You're not getting my facials. Yeah, I've been out tonight. How do we close this? Okay, watch along tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Can't wait for that. Big news. Big game. 7 a.m. tomorrow, there is a show going up for a transfer show in the studio. But I was out tonight. I told you I was. I very rarely miss a 8:30 show, and I very rarely will do. It won't be happening again for a while. But I always want to do you something, so I did you something. If you liked it, great. If you didn't like it, still drop a like on it, because you could have had nothing and you've got something. So thanks everybody who has watched, who has been asked to watch it and supporting the channel. I don't know whether these are a good idea to do or not, because obviously the ones in the studio are very professional, but I wanted to give you something and it's a bit different. So let me know what you think. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak tomorrow, 7 a.m. transfer show, and then tomorrow night, 7 p.m. big game. See you soon.